we are not messing around with the $3 drafts, the $5 drafts today. We're going to stick it with the classic. We're going to stick it with the biggest tournament in fantasy football history. We are going to be going over to Best Ball Mania. Got 16th place in this bad boy last season. I'm sorry, a couple years back. We made it to the finals last year. Sadly, did not get 16th place last year. More got like 300th, some crap like that. But regardless, hopefully we can be taking down first place this season for the $2 million. I wouldn't cry too much about a 16th place finish again. That would have been $70K. But last season we were down here in the chumps. I think there's no way last season our team got higher than 300th. I don't exactly remember if we did. It was like 200th to 300th, but we're not up in the top 10 that you really need to be to take home life-changing money. But we're in here. Need 2 more spots. Thank you for everybody coming out. We got Tyler out here. Sorry about your team, my friend. Hopefully I think you're America's team at this point. I don't think anybody wants the Thunder to win. And we are going to be a little bit early in the live stream today. We are going to see the Dodgers play later. So we're going to go to the Dodgers game tonight. Pretty excited. Watch the game. See if your boy's on the big screen. He probably will be. And yeah, so felt like we should probably just fire up the stream a little bit early. That way we could still get in a couple drafts and not only one. But again, if you wanted to make sure you can come to these live streams, even if we are early, hit the bell next to the subscribe button and YouTube will tell you right away whenever we go live. But let's move this down. We're going to be selecting at pick 5 here. Looking for people in this live stream that are in this stream. We have Jimmy in here at 11. We got Will in here at pick 1. We got Justin in the 7 spots. Exciting. ER7, we're all at 5, my friend. We are. Randy says, with a push back, do you draft more Eagles players? I was making my rankings under the assumption that the tush push was going to be there regardless. So I'm not updating my rankings whatsoever, just because we are already expecting it. Eduardo asking what our underdog code is. Our underdog code is code FLOCK, FLOCK. You can find that link in the description and comment section, my friend. But Chase goes off the board at 1. Barkley goes 2. Like I said, I think if the tush push would have been banned, you could have considered going Barkley over Chase. But Chase is the easy 1 pick with the tush push being a thing. Nick says, Mason, tell Jeep to stop offering me bad dynasty trades. I think you should maybe just start accepting them. How about that? We're going to go ahead. We are going to take CeeDee Lamb at numero 5. If it was like a regular fantasy football draft where you start 2 wide receivers, 1 flex, you're playing on like ESPN or Yahoo, I'm probably going to go Jahmyr Gibbs over CeeDee Lamb. But specifically here with these underdog drafts, obviously it's going to be a little bit tougher for us to find wide receivers later. And dear God, Jahmyr Gibbs sliding. St. Brown goes at 6. CMC goes at 7. Wild. We got the Ladster out here who did a couple BBM drafts on the Fantasy Stock Exchange channel earlier. Floodgate says, did my first $25 draft, and some guys started with Allen at the 107 and then went Lamar and Daniels with this next 3 picks. I'm imagining that's going to get tossed and refunded, my friend. That is frustrating. But let's see. Maliker says, opinion on RJ Harvey. Schedule's terrible, but he's a great talent. I'm not going to sit here and try to give you in-depth schedule analysis on the Broncos running back schedule. I think with Harvey stepping into a running back room where he can very easily see 200 plus touches year 1. It's a good offense as well with what Bo Nix flashed last season. So I'm completely fine with Harvey with where he goes. Am I going out of my way to target him? No, because to be honest with you, I don't think RJ Harvey is some phenomenal talent. Like, in comparison to the other round 2 running backs in this year's draft, like I think Trevion Henderson clears the dude. Like I think Trevion Henderson's a much, much better running back. but I'm not going to fault you. If we get Ladd McConkey and CeeDee Lamb paired up together, let's freaking go. Maybe we make this an entire stream for the Ladster. If y'all have checked the site lately, the Ladster, I will show y'all this, has Mr. Lamb ranked at 2 overall, but maybe we go ahead and maybe we take Chase Brown for him in round 3. We'll see what happens. But that team right before us decided to go with Terry McLaurin at pick 19. But super exciting. Yeah, I'm freaking pumped about this. T-Dub says, London dropping 18, kind of wild. AJ Brown, top of round 2 is nasty work. Yeah, not too many teams are going to have Nico and AJ Brown, though. So I think it's a unique combo that makes a lot of sense for that team to take. Okay. Let's see. Tyreek off. Trey McBride goes as well. Let's move this down. What are we doing? The team right ahead of us at 4 starts running back. So if they got Jacobs falling to him, I bet you they pass on Jacobs here. Which if they pass on Jacobs, we may go Jacobs for the uniqueness. There'll be very few teams that have Ladd and Jacobs paired together based off Jacobs typically going at the 2-3 turn. Ladd going in the middle of round 2. But if he takes Jacobs, I'll probably take Chase Brown. He goes JSN. So we are going to just go with the unique start where I don't expect there to be too many teams that are able to pair up Lamb, Ladd, and Josh Jacobs all together. Like if y'all want to go ahead and see where Jacobs was at last season, of course, this is free on the site. Just go to the rankings page, hit a drop down of a player. Jacobs was the RB8. We go back and look at Jacobs through his entire NFL career. His worst finish ever was RB18, and his second worst finish ever was RB13. We've got up to an RB3 season. This was when Jacobs was my most drafted player in 2022 when I won multiple underdog tournaments and ended up getting 16th place in Best Ball Mania. But love this start. And of course, if anybody else wants to get crushed with us in a fantasy football draft, we are streaming drafts every single day. Y'all know this. We've been doing it for years and years and years. We're doing these drafts on Underdog Fantasy, largest fantasy football tournaments in the world. They're best ball. So again, it's not going to replace your main fantasy football league. You're not submitting your starting lineup every single week. Your best possible starting lineups getting submitted for you automatically at the end of every week. No waiver wire. That's why you're going to be drafting extremely deep guys. Like I'm going to probably draft like Jalen Tolbert in round 18 for the Ladster here. So yeah, super fun. Definitely like what you should be doing in May, June, and July if you love fantasy football. Obviously, then when we get closer to August, September, that's when your main fantasy football team takes over. But if y'all wanted to hop in a draft with us, y'all can find that link to Underdog Fantasy in the description, in the comment section, in the live chat. If you use code FLOCK, you'll get a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, you'll be getting my free 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheet. But Amari and Hampton goes, so we're going to keep it stupid simple. We're going to take Tet McMillan. I was talking to the FSE guys in their live stream earlier today, and I was asking them, like, what are you thinking with Travis Hunter, like, versus McMillan? Again, I know I've said in this live stream a couple times that I think Travis Hunter may end up sliding down these boards once you get, like, the more regular people doing drafts. I know the FSC guys call them casuals. I call them normal, well-adjusted people that may not care about fantasy football until August. But we are the sickos. So a lot of people doing these drafts today that are sickos are completely fine going ahead and taking Travis Hunter in round 4, saying that he's going to be a full-time receiver or play the majority of his snaps at wide receiver. I think his ADP is going to fall where I think it's going to be easier to get him in round 5 when we're in August and September. So I will probably take Tet McMillan continuously until then. Again, I think McMillan, phenomenal wide receiver prospect, top 10 draft capital, checks every box that you'd ever want to see from a market share perspective. So I love him at pick 44. But let's see. I saw somebody asking, Jimmy says, Mason, what are your thoughts on my team so far? Team 11. Jimmy goes, Neighbors, Brian Thomas. I love that pairing in Neighbors, Thomas. Worthy, Brees out the gate. I really like the squad. Obviously, you could have made an argument to go with Josh Allen for the elite quarterback there, but you also have the ability to go with Mahomes as well as Lawrence, right? So Flowers goes 51. That team at 2 only has one receiver, and that one wide receiver is Higgins. For the purpose of continuing a unique build, I know we're boring, and every single pick we made so far is just top of ADP. But you look at where the ADP lines up. McMillan's typically going at the beginning of the 4th, where Jameson typically goes at the end of the 4th. So like the amount of teams that are going to have McMillan and Jameson in this same tournament, very, very slim. Again, that's kind of the thought process that we had with Ladd McConkey and Josh Jacobs together. And Jameson Williams has gotten a lot better. Like, y'all know I used to crap on Jameson, like especially way back in the day, going into his rookie season from a dynasty perspective. I thought that this was somebody that you probably shouldn't have been taking. But you see the jump that he had in year 3, up to 2.17 yards per route run. 80% of the snaps, finishes the wide receiver 25 from a points per game perspective. And you look at Jameson Williams' age, he's pretty damn young. Like, he just turned 24. Obviously, you have the concern that Ben Johnson's possibly going to be, I'm not possibly going to be gone. He is gone. So the offense is possibly going to be much worse. We don't know if that's true or not. We'll see. But I love this team so far. Let's freaking go. Ooh. PBR Tyler says, JMO also wear number 1 right now. That's worth. See, that's something you'll learn in Tyler's live stream. I have no idea what number JMO's wearing. But good to know. Good to know. We can pencil him in for a few extra touchdowns. Let's still move this. Jeep Guy says, do annual mother flockers still get the team review? Thinking about throwing the Flock Dynasty League on there. Yes, sir. Of course. So, yeah, if you're an annual, I know, just you shoot me a DM on Discord, my guy. But for anybody else watching this, if you're an annual mother flocker on flockfantasy.com, you do get that free team review every single year. You should get a free team review voucher. So just go through like the personal advice channel, submit your team for me, and I'd be happy to check it out for free. We're taking our second rookie here. Let's see who it is. I know we got the question asked about RJ Harvey earlier. What is up with these values that we're getting in this draft? We get RJ Harvey at pick 68. If y'all remember, like a week ago, RJ Harvey was going at the 4-5 turn, which I wasn't a super big fan of him there. I know we said at the top of this live stream, I don't think he's a super special talent by any means, but you get the round 2 NFL draft capital, and at the same time, you step into a good offense where you can have opportunity day 1. Sign me up. Let's freaking go. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. This is one of the, this may be one of the best drafts that we've done. Thank God I hopped in a Best Ball Mania instead of a puppy or a Chihuahua. That team at 2, they have the red badge. They've done 1,000 drafts on Underdog before. They have a little headband too, which I don't exactly know what that accessory is, but I'm assuming it means they're a little bit more addicted to Underdog than the rest of us. So they know what they're doing. They have one wide receiver through the first 6 rounds, and that is T. Higgins. They followed up with Ricky Pearsall at pick 74. We don't need to chase wide receiver. That's why I feel so comfortable with this team. We have Lamb, Ladd, Tet McMillan, Jameson Williams at wide receiver, Jacobs and RJ Harvey at running back. Like I swear my team's on Underdog this year. And maybe it's just because I got burnt when I wouldn't stop taking. Who do we want? Do we go Golden? I'm thinking maybe Diggs. But we could go Golden, pair him up with Jacobs, and then target Love later on. Let's do that. Let's go for the Packers. We'll make this a Packers team. Let's take Matthew Golden. My hesitation there is it is our 3rd rookie, but like the other wide receivers I'd be considering in this range would be like Brandon Ayuk and Stephon Diggs. And I don't want to say like, oh, I don't want to take a 3rd rookie because I'm afraid this team may start too slow. Let me take a player coming off a torn ACL instead. So it's like, since the other wide receivers in this range may also have the same concern that we would have with the other guys, might as well just go ahead, pull the trigger on the wide receiver that we were already making a consolidated bet on his offense with. Let's go for it. Nick says Packers stack 2 million. Happy to see you out here, my friend. PBR Tyler says, Will Levis season drafting at 10. Hate to see it. Let's see. What is Will Levis season up to? Puka, Henry, Lamar, Cook, Addison, Laporta, Ayuk. I like the Ayuk pick. I don't dislike any pick, but it just kind of seems like a whatever team. Nick says, also do not draft with weeks 15, 16, 17 correlation. So a couple different things. I think one, people really overvalue week 17 correlating pieces across the board. Depending on the tournament you're in, I think it's important. Like, you can make an argument that Best Ball Mania, it's important. I think it's probably more important in the puppy because in Best Ball Mania, 10% of the prize pool is going to be going towards the regular season. Then on top of that, you go through and if you look at what you have like with week 17 bringbacks and the value add that you get from those versus instead of just trying to optimize your roster for the most points you can get in weeks 15, 16, 17. What I've had success with in the past, and until we stop having success on Underdog, is building structurally sound teams, avoiding what I perceive to be the landmines, and trying to optimize for the highest ceiling possible for weeks 15, 16, 17. Okay, Jonnu Smith goes 90. I'm not taking another rookie here. Do we take Downs or do we take Mooney? Looking at quarterback, Bo Nix, we don't necessarily have an option with. I mean, we could go Bo Nix and RJ Harvey and then maybe take Evan Ingram on the way back around, but it's not compelling enough for us to feel the need to reach on Bo Nix here. So let's take Mooney as our sixth wide receiver. Maybe we're in a spot where we take Big Q as the seventh guy and then call it a day. But I feel like we get ahead of maybe the wide receiver teardrop. And over the next few rounds, we're going to be able to slam quarterbacks and tight ends when they're my favorite picks on the board. Okay. Mikhail says, who would you consider the landmines as of now? You'll have to admit, obviously, I've gotten a ton of things wrong over the years, and I'm an idiot in 10,000 different ways. But every time I've come out and I've taken a stance and I've said this guy is undraftable, it has worked out in our favor. You go back years ago, it was Gabe Davis, Cortland Sutton, Michael Pittman, back when Sutton and Pittman were going in round 3, when Gabe Davis was going in round 3. 2 years ago, it was Kadarius Toney when he was getting drafted ahead of Mike Evans. This past year was Hollywood. We did get lucky with the Hollywood fade, of course. We got lucky with the injury. Who knows how that would have played out. But never mind. We may go Josh Downs here. Caleb, we don't have an option for. I don't necessarily know if we want to take another rookie. We're going to go Josh Downs, call it a day with our seventh receiver. But anyway, if I'm looking at what we have with the landmines this year, somebody that I think is pretty undraftable at cost, maybe he's fallen a bit, at least at cost when tournaments first opened up. Jawan Jennings was undraftable in my mind. Where does Jennings go in this draft? If he falls into round 7 in the same round with Sticky Ricky and Brandon Ayuk, sure, you can look at him. But again, when Jennings was going 20 picks ahead of Ayuk, Jennings is not draftable. I think DK Metcalf, unless Pittsburgh's going to get another quarterback when he's going round 4, is undraftable. Round 5 is whatever. Let's see. Caleb Williams goes 108. Jalen Warren, Zach Charbonnet. So again, I think we're maybe done at wide receiver with our 7 receivers the first 9 rounds. Especially with 2 of those guys leading us off at the very start of this draft. But if we're looking at our quarterback stacking options, obviously we have a ton of different potential plays here. We already mentioned Jordan Love to pair up with Matthew Golden as well as Josh Jacobs. We could go Dak Prescott to pair with Lamb. We could go Justin Herbert to pair with Ladd. We can go Bryce Young to pair with McMillan. We can go Jared Goff to pair with Jameson. We can go Michael Penix to pair up with Mooney. And we can go Anthony Richardson to pair up with Downs. So We have a ton of different options. Hell, you can even go with an unstacked Fields based off rushing upside. Maybe we grab Mason Taylor later. This team takes Dak to stack up with Pickens. Not going to fault them for that at all. I think here we may be going with Fields. Do we go with an because what's our other option? Javonte? I'm not taking Tootin here. It's like Javonte Williams or Justin Fields unstacked. I'd probably rather have an unstacked Fields. Grab Mason Taylor late. Even if we don't get Mason Taylor late, Fields can come through with big spike weeks just based off what he can do as a rusher. Yeah, Javonte would have been the other guy we would have grabbed. Obviously, we're not taking Shaheed there. Obviously, we're not taking... I don't say obviously we're not taking Tootin. I think Tootin's pretty undraftable as well. In comparison, like if you look at my exposures, I don't want to say he's like the landmine, but if you look at my exposures, I have a lot more Travis Etienne than I do Tootin. Okay, Drake May goes 119 to pair up with the Kyle Williams team. Tootin does end up going at pick 120. So looking at Purdy's an option that I do think you have to have stacked. It gives you a little bit of rushing upside, just nothing in comparison to what Fields is going to give you. So again, not saying that Purdy's a bad pick. I think Purdy could very easily outscore Fields, but I'm taking Purdy on a team that I took Ayuk. I'm taking Purdy on a team that I took Sticky Ricky. I'm taking Purdy on a team I took CMC, or I'm taking Purdy on a team that I took Kittle. But yeah, like Purdy's averaged 20 rushing yards per game. I think we can either look at Goff or Herbert. I'm going to go Goff here. Goff pick 125, 11 picks past ADP, stacks with Jamison Williams very comfortably for us. Again, I think Herbert could have been in play to pair up with Ladd, but our first two quarterbacks going at pick 116 and 125 on a team where we only need to draft 7 receivers. I wouldn't be opposed to grabbing a third quarterback. Now, ideally, we're not taking a third quarterback anytime soon. Ideally, we kind of play catch up here at running back a bit. But like if we get a pretty big fall from somebody else that we have a potential stack, right? Like Bryce Young falls dramatically. I think we can pull the trigger on Bryce Young. Bingo Bongo says, how about a quick little look-see at Team 12? All right, let's check out Team 12 for him here. Nico, A.J. Brown, I think that's a unique start, going with Kyron Williams, Devonta Smith there at the turn. Very interesting to go like A.J. Brown and Smith together when you know you're not going to be able to get Hurts. Olave, Rome. I don't know, like Rome Odunze in my mind in comparison to like Kenneth Walker, Alvin Kamara, seems like a very bad pick. And I'm completely fine if you like are forced to make that Rome Odunze call over Walker, dependent on the context of your team. Like say you took Breece Hall instead of Devonta Smith here, and you were sitting with through the first 4 rounds with only 2 receivers, then sure, I think you go Rome. But to go Rome as your 5th receiver rather than Kenneth Walker as your 2nd running back, I think is maybe a little bit tougher. Would be my read on it. Justin Herbert goes. Herbert would have been in consideration again for us mentioning that we're not exactly wanting to go quarterback this early for our third guy. I'm not trying to draft 3 quarterbacks in the first 12 rounds. I think we take Benson here as our 3rd running back. If we get Love on the way back around in round 13, I'll be fine taking him as our 3rd QB there. But I think the running back teardrop's coming a little bit quicker than what we're going to have at quarterback. And again, like I said, we have a bunch of different quarterback options. We could go Michael Penix late. We could go Bryce Young late, or we could also just stop with Fields and Goff. So like if we didn't take Goff there, then we'd have been fine. But let's see. Leggett goes 143. And sadly, we are not able to take the big Q. We have Lamb, Ladd, Tet McMillan, Jameson, Golden, Mooney, and Josh Downs. I think we're probably a little bit too far behind at the other positions. Like, let's just think about this realistically. We have Jacobs, RJ Harvey, and Trey Benson. So we know we're going to need... So let's think through this. We have rounds 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. We have 6 picks left. We know we need 3 tight ends. So the decision point that we need to make is, are we better off with the third quarterback or the sixth running back? Are we better off going with like Love here and committing ourselves to only 2 running backs through the rest of this draft? Or are we better off going like Dallas Goedert and then being able to get the 6th running back? Because Love does fall 21 picks past ADP, we have Matthew Golden, we have Josh Jacobs, so we are in on this Packers offense. I think we are going to take Jordan Love, pick 149. This may be a little bit too early to grab our third quarterback. I think we have some flexibility because we only took 7 receivers in this. But it will be interesting. Wide receiver, we have Lamb, Ladd, McMillan, Jameson, Golden, Mooney, Josh Downs. Running back, we have Josh Jacobs, RJ Harvey, Trey Benson. Quarterback, we have an unstacked Fields. Maybe we grab Mason Taylor late. We have Goff paired up with Jameson, and we have Love paired up with Golden as well as Jacobs. So obviously at this point, what we selfishly want is we selfishly want to see as many of these quarterbacks off the board and as many wide receivers as possible. Seeing these tight ends go is not ideal. We've yet to draft our first tight end. Ronald says Javonte should have been the pick over Fields. If we would have known that we would have gotten Goff falling 11 picks past ADP and Jordan Love falling 21 picks past ADP, 100% I would agree with you. But again, if we would have gone Javonte there at 116 instead, we would have probably taken Jordan Love instead of Trey Benson, and then our running back here at 149 would have been like Tank Bigsby. So let's move this down. We're just going to take Tyler Algier relatively easily. Again, I think running back's almost a bigger priority for us to get a strong RB4, RB5 here than tight end, because tight end we're already committed to 3 tight end approach. Where running back, I think we may be a little bit thin having only 5 with our third running back being Trey Benson. Like running back, the capital we submit to, it's pick 29, pick 68, pick 140, 164, and then whatever the next running back we take will be. But this is our list that we get to pick from through the rest of this draft. Steven says Allen with Fields. I'm assuming maybe you're asking about Mason Taylor goes 12 picks ahead of ADP here, which is pretty funny. But I'm assuming you're meaning to ask Keenan Allen with Fields. One, again, I will reiterate, I think Fields is a completely fine option to not have stacked up because you can see those spike weeks come from what he can do as a rusher. So I'm not forcing that. And also we have our 7 wide receivers that we're not going to be drafting the rest of this time. Like, we do not need another receiver here. Stafford goes 171. So if we get Braylon Allen, I'm chilling at running back. Yeah, we're going to take Braylon Allen. We're just going to cap this draft off with 3 tight ends at the very end. I love this team. This is one of my favorite teams that we have drafted in a long, long time. Wide receiver, Lamb, Ladd, Tet McMillan, Jameson Williams, Matthew Golden, Darnell Mooney, Josh Downs. Running back, Jacobs, RJ Harvey, Trey Benson, Tyler Algier, Braylon Allen. Quarterback, we have Fields, I guess, paired up with Braylon Allen. In reality, it doesn't really matter. We have Goff paired up with Jameson. We have Love double stacked with Jacobs and Golden. And then we are going to take 3 crap tight ends at the very end. But this is exciting. Ronald asked what draft we're going to do next. We may end up getting in another Best Ball Mania. I really feel like we did this a great draft here. Bingo Bongo says, I won 15K only drafting 6 receivers. As long as you get the right ones, that's all you need. Yeah, if you only draft 6 wide receivers, you definitely need to have like 6 of your first 8 picks being the wide receiver position. Like, you need to slam wide receiver early if you're going to stop at 6. But I mean, you can get it done. Thielen goes 184. Hopkins goes 183. Again, what we are doing through the rest of this draft is stupid simple, stupid boring. We are just taking bum tight ends. Now, lucky for us, if you look at the historical data from last year, what's actually really funny is the best tight end strategy was to wait till the very, very end of the draft and take 3 of them, which we've seen a couple times now with different seasons. Now, just because that's what worked last year, of course, does not mean that's what's going to work this year. Like, it is, in my mind, not the ideal to be waiting this long on tight end. Now, I will say I definitely prefer our teams when we grab our running backs, wide receivers early, at least this season. Let's see. Russ goes 193. The Ladster wants us to go Noah Gray. Did y'all end up drafting Noah Gray with that team on the stream? I had to leave the stream right before y'all were up there. Ronald says Mason playing for second. Team 11 locked it up. I saw a lot of people in the chat saying that they like Team 11. Okay, we will just take Jatavion Sanders. We'll pair him up with McMillan and go, what if the Panthers have a better offense than most people are expecting? Let me check out Team 11, and then we will circle back around, and we will look at our round 18 tight ends and then jump in another draft. We have Mahomes stacked with Worthy. We have Lawrence stacked up with Brian Thomas. Running back, we're sitting with Breece, Walker, Charbonnet, Devin Neal, and I'm assuming we take 1 to 2 more running backs. I don't exactly know. Malik Neighbors, Brian Thomas, Worthy, Ridley, Shakir, Trey Harris, Hollywood, and Cedric Tillman. Tight end, we have likely Brenton Strange, and I'm assuming we have to take a third tight end here as well. Not a bad squad, but I clear you in this draft, my friend. Justin, let's check out his team at pick 7. Pick 7, you got to give me the CMC over Gibbs argument here. But we go CMC London, which should be a unique start unless McCaffrey does rise up to being a mid-round 1 pick through the rest of the offseason. Rice, Daniels, we get the Daniels stack with Debo later. Jones, Jonnu. I'm not a big Jonnu guy there. I like the Dak Pickens. Oh, you got to also give me your explanation on the Pat Bryant 162. That's what I need. Who were saying rip Irsay? Did Jim Irsay just die? Let me pull this up. I didn't see anything. Oh, 14 minutes ago. Jim Irsay died. We are. Rest in peace. 1959 to. So it is 66? Or 76? No, it should be 66, right? $65. Yeah, that's not old at all. I like Ferguson over Arroyo, but because we had somebody in the live chat tell us that it's Elijah Arroyo's season, I'm going to trust you. I'm going to put my faith in you, and we will take him here. But let's move this over and let's hop into another draft, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to be getting another BBM draft underway. 11 spots open in this draft room if you want to draft with us. That thing fills up quickly. So I'm assuming I'm going to have to draft against a lot of y'all, which is maybe not ideal. And what's also maybe not ideal is the fact that we're going to be at pick 12 here. So it is what it is. We will figure it out together. Quick Quest says, I'm telling you, Mason, here's my thing. If Elijah Arroyo wins me Best Ball Mania for $2 million, I will, if he wins me the $2 million, how about this? I will give you $15. If you give me your Venmo and Elijah Arroyo wins me the $2 million and you're the reason I took him, I'm generous enough. I actually can't do the full 15, right? Because I'm going to get taxed on the $2 million. I'll take the taxes out of the $15. I'll give you what is that? Like 40% is the highest tax rate. I'll give you like $8. I would have done 15, but taxes suck. So just make sure you stay around till the end of the stream, the end of the year to see. It will come in the form of a gift card to flockfantasy.com. I'll send you an $11 gift card for flockfantasy.com. I'll give you a free sub to the site. JT says, I got in pick 11. Can't wait to snipe you. Oh, that's brutal, my friend. Let's see. We got Maxwell in here at 9. We got Ronald in here at 1. Jefferson goes at pick 2. Well, let's see. Ken says, Mason Sanders had to get into the season and should be a really good potential safety blanket for Bryce. Hopefully. We need the production on that team. We get 1 or 2 exciting players here. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Oh my gosh. Back-to-back amazing drafts. I'm sorry. Let me know if when I do that it's too loud. But we get to start Amon-Ra St. Brown and Christian McCaffrey here. Praise the Lord. Oh my gosh. This is exciting. Y'all really... How about this? We win Best Ball Mania with this team. Everybody that's watching this right now, y'all are all getting free subs to flockfantasy.com. How about that? Annual subscriptions, no, but you can get a free month. I'll give you a free month of January. Get what you get, don't throw a fit. But I'm getting Amon-Ra St. Brown, Christian McCaffrey here, and I'm throwing a freaking party. This could not be better. This could not be better. Lou says, how are you going to remember us? You just got to shoot me a message. But thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, this is exciting. And beggars can't be choosers. Realistically. It would be cool to do a cool giveaway. If I won Best Ball Mania, I'm sure Underdog would do some cool giveaways. God, I'm in a good ass mood. And this is why I need to just only stream on the live stream. Because whenever I stream off the live stream and something like this happens, I can't celebrate. I can't talk about it with anybody. If I told my girlfriend, hey, I drafted Christian McCaffrey and Amon-Ra St. Brown in Best Ball Mania, her response would be, who's that and what's Best Ball Mania? But, life is good. Terry McLaurin goes 26. So this is back-to-back drafts where McLaurin goes a little bit earlier than usual. This is back-to-back drafts where Gibbs has fallen as well. Gibbs fell to pick 8 in the last draft. Gibbs fell to pick 7 in this one. God. It's going to be good. Lou says, Nick says, Mason, when do you pop in the question? Whenever we win Best Ball Mania. I keep telling her every year, I'm just waiting to win BBM. We win BBM. Then we good. We Gucci. Yeah, I should go change. I need to get the suit on. But, dear God. Let's see what we're going to get here at the 3-4 turn. Devontae Adams goes 33. Yeah. She can get a ring whenever I get my BBM ring. We are going to go Josh Allen, and then I just freaking, I like Breece Hall. The issue, we take Breece Hall here, we are playing catch up. We are wide receiver no matter what at the 5-6 turn. F it. We're doing it. We're doing it. Let's go Breece Hall. We're going to go Josh Allen and Breece. One wide receiver through the first 4 rounds. We put ourselves in wide receiver hell, but hopefully we can dig ourselves out of this hole. You go back and you look at what this team would have been. What this team could have been. Breece Hall, 3 straight seasons, at least 15 fantasy points per game. 2 years ago, 17 points per game. You look at Christian McCaffrey 2 years ago. 24.5 points per game. You look at Josh Allen 2 years ago. 23 points per game. You look at Amon-Ra St. Brown 2 years ago. 20 points per game. Oh my gosh. This team would have won Best Ball Mania 2 years ago. And the thing is, the only old guy out of these 4 players is McCaffrey. McCaffrey's going to be 29. I saw this picture on Twitter. This is AI, right? For whatever reason, the background of this just looks computer generated. Yeah, we do need to get the pup cam for sure. Seahawks says they were all top 5 picks last year in Best Ball. At their respective positions for sure. Ooh. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Lou says, we need a live one day where we see what pants you got on. Mason, be on live streams and boxers. My guy, I don't even have that much on. Let's just say I stand up and YouTube takes down the stream immediately. Yeah, Yeet says, are you not worried about Fields rushing touchdowns? The thing with Fields rushing touchdowns is we're not taking Breece Hall in round 1. We're taking Breece Hall here in round 4. It does seem, in my opinion, that it could be priced in. It could be. All right. Now, here's what I need everybody at home to do. 1, let me know. Does anybody here watch this on a TV? Does anybody what are y'all watching this on? I know the people in the chat are going to say phone because obviously, or computer because you can type. But I threw the live stream from last night on the Roku just to see what it would look like. And I was like, you know what? It's actually looks pretty good on TV. But anyway, if you're on the couch watching this on a TV, if you're at your desk watching this on a computer, stand up, do the wide receiver dance for us. We have 1 wide receiver through the first 4 rounds. We need him back. Hubbard goes, good for us. Pickens goes, bad for us. See, this is where we're at the disadvantage. The team at 11 knows that we're probably going to go wide receiver here at the turn. So they can go say hey, I want Kenneth Walker. They know they're going to be able to get them in round 6. I'm not taking Kenneth Walker here. We're going to take Jordan Addison. And I kind of want to take Godwin. Freaking Rome Odunze was a bomb last year. He was so bad. We're going to take... I don't know. We're going to take Godwin. Maybe it's a bad call because if Addison gets suspended at the beginning of the season, we maybe need Godwin's points. We maybe need points here immediately. This is just a team that I really like, and I want to take a player that I like. To look at how different Godwin was versus Rome last season. It is insane. Godwin last year, 2.35 yards per route run, 26% team target share, wide receiver 2 from a points per game perspective. You go ahead and you look at Rome Odunze. The dude played 85% of the snaps. He was on the field a ton. The dude was running 32.5 routes a game. Yet what did he do with this? 1.32 yards per route run. Wide receiver 59. Better coaching staff, probably better quarterback play this year. Better offensive line. Rome's probably going to get better going to year 2 himself, but they also bring in Luther Burden as well as Loveland. So, I don't know. I'm going to pass on Rome. Rome could be the right pick. It is what it is. It is what it is. But, I'm stressing. But this is an exciting team. Obviously, when we take Allen, we're looking for Shakir and we're looking for Kincaid late. I think that goes without being said. But also, Allen could give you spike weeks by himself without having a spike week from anybody else, right? Like you go look at a lot of those weeks from Josh Allen where he's dropping 30-plus points. And it's just spread out to so many different players in that offense. It's not like Khalil Shakir's really popping off the screen. But, of course, ladies and gentlemen, if y'all want to be able to get into some of these drafts with us and hopefully one day dream of having a team like this, you can find that link to Underdog Fantasy in the description in the comment section. Code FLOCK will hook you up with that 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, you'll get my 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheet. And just for some clarity on that, I do not have the draft guide cheat sheets done yet. They will be done whenever it's time for your regular fantasy football draft. We'll probably do the first version in July and send out an update every single week. But whenever you sign up to Underdog so I have a list of everybody who's ever signed up to Underdog in 2025 with code FLOCK and made a $10 deposit. And essentially what I'll do is I will add that to like an email service. You'll never get like a promotional email from me saying like, hey, buy this, but you'll get just an email of like, hey, here's the draft guide cheat sheets, find your format, download it, and you're good for your draft. So, but you'll just need to check the email address that you signed up to Underdog with code FLOCK for. Okay. But let's go through. Ricky Pearsall goes 77. Stephon Diggs goes 80. I need y'all to do that dance for me. Oh, brutal. Brutal. That sucks. Y'all know this happens to us way too often. Way too often am I stuck here taking freaking bum Cooper Kupp because I need a wide receiver at this point. We'll take Kupp and we will take Swift. We are 2 picks away from getting Shakir. A lot of times whenever you take Allen, you will manage to get Shakir because that's where his ADP lines up. It's usually with the Allen team. But it is what it is. Brian says, JT said he was here to snipe you. Well, congrats, JT. Your team doesn't hold the candle to ours, buddy. You ain't advancing regardless. Khalil Shakir, you just lit $25 on fire, my friend. Instead of me winning $2 million, I'll be winning $1 million. So maybe instead of me being on my 24-foot yacht, I'm on my 22-foot yacht. And you wasted $25 to take Khalil Shakir to just take a couple feet off my next yacht. But I don't know. Steven says Hawk, then JJ as the second quarterback. Take a lot of Hawkinson here, but I do want to give us a decent shot to get Kincaid later now that we don't have Shakir. So I'll pass Hawk, somebody else can take him. Maybe makes them a little bit less likely to take Kincaid from us. Robert says $1 million 24-foot yacht. Yeah, I actually, if y'all don't know this, let me pull this up. Yacht for sale, 24 feet. So there's a website called Yacht World, right? That I've worked with for years. This is where I buy all my yachts. This is actually the model I toured last week, which is funny that they're showing up here. But yeah, this is where I buy all my yachts. I have a yacht guy, and they actually hooked me up with the promo code too. So next time you're looking for your next yacht, if you use code FLOCK, you will actually get 10% off and my free 2025 fantasy football rankings and draft guide cheat sheet. So yeah, you can find the link to that in the description, comment section, and live chat as well. But oh my gosh, this is actually perfect. Literally the yacht that we were looking at yesterday. It had a price drop. The main thing that I don't like is this is a Caterpillar engine. Caterpillar engines run a little bit funny for me. I could get a little bit sick out on the seas. This was my third boat had a Caterpillar engine, and oh my God, I had to give it away. I had to give it away to the poor. It was not good. I would just get seasick every time I got on it. But let's move this down. So this is why we had to take Cooper Kupp. You look at the draft board right here. There are no wide receivers that are available to us, right? So it is what it is. Even Shaheed's going to pick 105. If we wanted to reach on some receivers, it'd be Bateman and Marvin Mims. There ain't no way in hell I'm taking Bateman or Marvin Mims here. So we are in a spot where we are now screwed. We probably go Tracy. Quarterback, we're not taking Fields. If we were to take like Najee or Charbonnet here with Tracy, we'd be done drafting running backs. I don't want to pencil us in that much. We could go Andrews. My hesitation with Andrews is it's really just the Lamar team that usually takes him here. Like there are some very concerning things you can find with Andrews' profile. We'll take him regardless. We haven't drafted a ton of him. And again, I'm not taking Bateman. I'm not taking Marvin Mims here. The only reason they're ADPs here is for the Lamar team and the Bo Nix team. But I almost want to say the same thing about Andrews. It's like we go ahead and we pull up Mark Andrews from this past season. The points per game look whatever. I use the tight end 8, but he fell from a 22% team target share down to a 15%. He only ran 17 routes a game last year. All his points were fueled off touchdowns. He averaged 0.6 touchdowns off of 4.1 targets per game. That's like a 15% touchdown rate. There's no way in hell that touchdown rate stays that high. So the hope has to be that they start using Andrews a little bit more. All jokes aside, the thing I would never get a yacht. I'm way too anxious of a person. Like I would just be terrified of like it breaking or something. And I'm not good at maintaining things. But the thing that I do fantasize about, like spending a lot of money on, winning Best Ball Mania to get, is like a super nice house. Like, I spend way too much time on Zillow looking at houses that I will never be able to afford, and sending them to their girlfriend and go, oh my God, can you imagine? Can you imagine? Perry says Morgan Wallen has a Caterpillar engine on his yacht. Would not surprise me. Oh, if I could hang out with Morgan Wallen, dear God, that's what I'd spend my best ball money, BBM money on. Judd says houses break just as much as yachts. Yeah, I don't know. But for me, like, I think just like, I would be so scared something like on the water breaking. Like in my mind, maybe, obviously I've never had a boat or anything. My family's never had a boat or anything. But, so I have no experience with any of it. But just in my mind, like, I imagine that for whatever reason, if it's on the water, like on the ocean, it would have to break often. Okay. Robert says, maybe if the people who are in here are willing to help you out. If you guys hit that like button, Mason increases his chances of owning that house and boat. If y'all stop freaking taking Khalil Shakir from me, maybe. Ramondre goes 129. So this is an interesting setup. Obviously, we have no wide receivers available to us. It's the fact of the matter. It sucks. I would like to take Tyler Warren here, but we can't. We're going to have to take Kincaid, pair him up with Allen. And then who else could we even take? Like Love, we have nothing for. Stroud, we have nothing for. Tight end will be off our board at this point. I'm not a big Jaden Blue guy. I'd almost rather have Spears. What's the blurb on Spears? Oh my gosh. Do we just take Jaden Blue? Coming in from the top rope. Out of nowhere. The big Q. Okay, we're going to reach 16 picks on Quentin Johnston. I'm sorry. Quentin Johnston over Jaden Blue. It may be a massive reach according to ADP. I don't freaking care. I'm going to get my guy. I need a wide receiver. Ants. We will take him at pick 133. We will save the team. We will save the team here. Let's pull this up. Quentin Johnston, former round 1 NFL draft pick. 1.93 yards per route run this past season. 22% team target share. Gives you a 22-point week, another 22-point week, a 16-point week, a 15-point week, and then a 31-point week. So, we'll take him. And we'll roll with it. And also, picking at 12, I'm much more likely to go ahead and reach on someone just because there's no way we got Quentin Johnston at 156, knowing y'all. Y'all weren't going to let me do it. So, if we wanted him, we needed him here, and we got him. Okay. Bobbard says, is the big Q the future of best ball? The big Q is not the future of best ball. The big Q is the present day face of best ball, in my opinion. And yes, I'm going to single-handedly raise his ADP, but it is what it is. I'll take him. I'll jump on the grenade. Like all jokes aside, realistically, here's Quentin Johnston's profile. You want to compare this to Marvin Mims, who goes ahead of Marvin Mims was the wide receiver 69, played 27% of the snaps last year. Marvin Mims gave you a 30-point week, just like Quentin Johnston did. The only difference was Marvin Mims did it in week 17, so a lot of people paid attention. I could make an argument taking Marvin Mims ahead of Quentin Johnston is I I legitimately could make an argument that Quentin Johnston is a much better pick than Marvin Mims. Despite Marvin Mims having an ADP of 5-6 rounds ahead of him. So, honestly, let's look up Quentin Johnston signed jerseys. Maybe I buy one. Johnston signed jersey. Let's figure this out. Oh, are you kidding me? I'm getting a Quentin Johnston signed jersey. I'm buying low on this. $119 or best offer. Oof. I thought this thing would at least be $3K. Ooh, we're on the clock. We cannot go likely. We'll take Romeo Dobbs. We just need a wide receiver. And then now we have a little bit of time to think about who we're going to grab. Do we take Algier and call it a day at running back? Like Algier or Wan'Dale Robinson. Obviously, we need a... And then who could we get quarterback that would stack? Really nobody. We're probably just going to go Darnold late to pair up with Cup. Because obviously we have Josh Allen. We're banking on Allen here. So we're going to go ahead. We're going to take Tyler Algier and we're going to be done at running back. Okay. Let's move this over. C Money says he's not a better player than Marvin Mims. Sorry. Legitimately somebody in the chat. Marvin Mims is the landmine of underdog drafts at the moment. 2 years ago, we called it Kadarius Toney. Last year, we called it Hollywood. 3 years ago, we called it Sutton and Pittman. And plus Gabe Davis. Marvin Mims is that landmine. Tell me, why are we drafting a wide receiver who played 27% of the targets? I see he ran 10 routes a game. What are we doing? I honestly should just call the Big Q. The Big Q should join us for one of these live streams. That's what should happen. Let's see. What is the best jersey we can get here? What jersey do we like the most? The thing is, I like the Chargers colors too. Why are these just like colors and not like... Why don't any of these have like the Chargers logo on them? Where's one with the Chargers logo? I got one. This one's a little more expensive, $200. What about this one? This one's $90. I don't think this one has a Chargers logo either. Are there a bunch of... I don't think I've ever bought a signed jersey, by the way. So I know nothing about this. Yeah, F it. We may go this one. This one's a legit one. Seahawks fan says it was the draft jersey. Okay. Well, let's move this back over. We're playing catch up at wide receiver. We're done at tight end. We're done at running back. We need another quarterback. And this is going to be a draft where we take 9 receivers. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, you better hold down the fort. You better stay healthy. You better be damn good. As wide receiver right now, we have St. Brown, Addison, Godwin, Cup, the Big Q, Romeo Dobbs. And I just realized both our tight ends are on the same bye, so we're probably going to have a bunch of people in the comment section telling us that. I will sacrifice the 9 points in week 7. Alias says lowball him. I will. Ooh, Turtle says get the TCU jersey instead. That's not a bad idea. TCU signs Quentin Johnston jersey. Oh, these are more expensive. So this one's only $119. Okay, let's see. Quarterback, like I said, Darnold is in play. Bryce Young, Cam Ward, Stafford. I mean, we could go with one of those names and we could just say like, oh, let's take Jalen Coker as well, or like, oh, let's take Cam Ward and Tyler Lockett, or oh, let's take Matthew Stafford and Jordan Whittington. It's like, we don't need to go with Darnold. So what we're actually probably going to do here instead is let's take Bryce Young and follow it up with Jalen Coker, because we need to take a wide receiver here kind of regardless, right? So we'll grab Bryce Young as our second quarterback. Now our squad is as this. We have Amon-Ra St. Brown. No, let's go start quarterback. We have Josh Allen stacked up with Kincaid. We have Bryce Young stacked up with Jalen Coker. So quarterback, we should have a ton of points because of Josh Allen. Running back, we have CMC, Brees, DeAndre Swift, Tyrone Tracy, and Tyler Algier. We should be crushing at running back. The team weaknesses are wide receiver and tight end. Where wide receiver, we have St. Brown, Jordan Addison, Godwin, Kupp, Quentin Johnston, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Coker, and then we'll take two more bum wide receivers at the very end of this draft. And tight end, we have Mark Andrews and Dalton Kincaid. Potentially, can we consider going with the third tight end rather than the ninth receiver? Because again, we are obviously banking on Amon-Ra St. Brown to obviously light it up. Godwin has the wide receiver one upside. Addison could be a solid wide receiver too. Then we have Kupp, Quentin Johnston, Romeo Doubs, Jalen Coker, all responsible for giving us random spike weeks. And then another guy that we take here at the end. So we'll figure it out. Yeah. What this team needs is Amon-Ra St. Brown to stay healthy and Godwin to smash. But to be completely honest with y'all, the Dodgers game starts in an hour 45. I got to walk the dog before the girlfriend gets here so we can go. Like I said at the top of the live stream, that's why we had a little bit of an early stream today. But I do appreciate y'all hanging out with me. Again, to end this draft, we're going to take at least one more wide receiver, potentially two. And then we're going to grab a third tight end, but I possibly got to do it on the phone so I can go walk that dog before the girlfriend gets here. But again, really do appreciate y'all hanging out with me. I really hope I get a draft against you tomorrow night, the night after, the night after, the night after, the night after. You get the gist. And also, I did upload a video of our quarterback rankings and tiers today, just in case y'all didn't see. That is on the channel now. But I really appreciate you. Really hope I get a draft with you tomorrow night. And hopefully the Dodgers game is fun tonight, but I expect it will be.